guys some pictures because I like videos like this where you look at a picture or you see some footage and you hear a whisper over it. I think that's really nice. You're not going to get great photos because I think my camera is not as good as it used to be, and I struggle to take good photos. I did take better photos on my husband's phone, but I don't really have his photos or his phone, so I'm only going to show you the pictures I took, which are great, like I said, and obviously not going to show you any of the ones of other people in them, just for their sake. Alright, I've got some tea. I have some Yorkshire tea actually, which is the best tea, well, one of the best, and I'm gonna drink it while I talk to you guys about the United Kingdom. So we left on Christmas Day. Maybe you knew this. Our flight was at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon at our time. So we had to get there a few hours beforehand, of course. And we had to pick up a friend along the way because he was traveling with us. And we were also traveling with two other friends who were already there. They left Christmas Eve, same time, like 6 p.m. So they had gotten there Christmas morning and were already in London. We were flying to London Gatwick. And so we left. Flight was fine. We just watched some films. I tried to sleep. I don't think I slept much, if at all. But it's okay because I was very excited and I was energized from the excitement. And so we made like really good time on the trip and ended up getting there like an hour early somehow. So it was super early, like 6:30, 6:40 or so, London time. So it was like middle of the night at our local body time. And we had to get all of our stuff and try to maybe make our way to our Airbnb where we were staying. Of course, this meant getting on like the tube and figuring out tube stuff, and literally the first thing I saw and the first thing I took a photo of and the first picture I have for you, besides this one, what you're looking at right now, is a picture I took in Scotland. I'll talk about it later. I saw an advert in the tube station, a tube station where we were. Maybe if you live in London, you've seen it. And it was about ASMR. I just thought that was so weird, right? Like, I've been making videos for like 7 years, and I've watched it go from being a completely unknown thing to like there was an advert in London on the tube saying ASMR. So weird. Anyway, I took a picture for you guys. The tube, our very first tube experience, well, not mine, but it was our friend's first time on the tube. It wasn't great. We had a very racist guy on our tube train carriage, and that wasn't fun. Specifically because he did target me and other women on the train. So I don't want to go into that because this is supposed to be a nice video, and yeah. We got to the Airbnb, which is really nice. And shortly afterwards, our friends also arrived. They had just been in their hotel room having some breakfast, getting ready, packing up their stuff. And they met us in our place. I guess I don't have any photos from what we did that day, but we did go walk around. We tried to kind of show them tourist sites like Big Ben, which was completely covered up by scaffolding, but we knew that was going to be the case. Palace of Westminster and whatnot. We walked across the Thames, which they hated the name of it because they don't understand. They didn't understand why it was pronounced Thames. And one of my friends kept calling it the Thames, so we've renamed it, just so you know. It's now the River Thames. That evening, we had dinner steam the dumpling, you melt the soup. So it's a complicated process, which is why it's usually a bit more pricey than like a regular dumpling, which you can see in this photo. So these in the front, the foreground, are just regular pork, shalomba. Behind it were like shrimp and pork, jatsa, I believe. Yeah, it was shrimp and pork, or prawn and pork. And the little ones in the back, the separate ones, I think, were these very special black truffle shalomba. We each got one. They were very expensive. I want to say they were like £4 per dumpling. Crazy. So we got a couple to try, and they were really good but incredibly rich. I could really only feasibly eat just the one. I don't think I could have done more. And with the shalomba themselves, just the regular ones, were so good that we had to get another order. They were delicious. After that, we walked a little bit around Covent Garden and other parts of London, but mostly Covent Garden. And I'm sorry, I realized I'm talking really quickly. This video might be kind of quick because we were there for 2 weeks. I have a lot to talk about, obviously, and I don't want this video to be like 4 hours long. So hopefully you don't mind the quick speed of this. My pacing. Covent Garden was really nice. We were fortunate that we got to see a lot of Christmas stuff. Obviously, this is just the 26th, Boxing Day. Although my friends are really frustrated by how many things were closed on Boxing Day, which we knew would happen. And of course, a lot was closed the day before on Christmas. So we told them this would happen, but you know, we still had a good time. And it was nice to see all the Christmas decorations up and stuff. The next morning, my husband, who is from England, left to go visit his family. So it was just the 4 Americans. We're all American, except for my husband. And we went to Buckingham Palace to try to see the changing of the guard, but we got there super late. And this is where we were standing. You can see it's pretty far away. Couldn't really see anything. I told them what they were missing, like what was happening. And they were like, cool, alright, well, we don't really need to stand here, so we did leave. Yeah, you can see how crazy packed it was, and it was kind of like late, like 11 or so, so we went to go get some breakfast at this little cafe called My Place, and they had really cool art on the walls. As you can see, they were all stormtroopers dressed up, you know, as different characters. Very cool. Breakfast and the food was really good there, which is why I mention it, because the place where we wanted to go eat, we had wanted to go, I forget, but it was packed, and then we tried a second place, like our plan B, and that was also packed, like 45 minutes to an hour wait, which we're not about that. So we just like, hey, we passed this little cafe, let's go in. Here's the full English breakfast, which my friend got. I'm not a big full English fan, sorry, so I did not get it. But my food is really good. We all really enjoyed it, and we all said it was one of our favorite breakfasts, which is crazy because we didn't plan it. We did a little shopping afterwards. Just like in Soho and on the other high streets, we went to this Lush that had a bath bomb conveyor belt, which was crazy. We thought, like, I didn't see the purpose of it at all. It was cool, but I was like, why? And he had a lot of soap, big soaps. Like that Oxford Street soap was massive. It was bigger than my computer monitor, which is pretty big. I realize that means nothing to you, but so yeah, a lot of soaps. And oh, they had these very cool things, because this was like a 4-story Lush, guys. It was crazy. This is the ground floor we're on, and then it went up just 1 floor, I think, but it went down like 2 floors, and there was even like a spa, and they were selling music. It was the weirdest Lush I've ever been in, but in a good way. On the top floor they had these. They were selling these like jellies, bath jellies, and the bath jellies were shaped like bells, and you could slap the bells or hit these jelly bells, and they would make a bell ringing sound. We enjoyed hitting the squishy jellies a lot. We also went in Topshop because I told them that that was a popular brand in the UK, but we weren't prepared for how crazy this Topshop was going to be. It was, I believe, 6 floors, and as you can see from this, there's a DJ in the front. I mean, it was a great idea because she's playing, you know, like this really great, fun music that makes you want to go in and walk around. This is the ground floor, right by the entrance, and they also had a cupcake shop in this store in Topshop. Madness, and you can't see it, but behind the cupcake shop was a bubble tea place. So that was just bizarre to us. They also had like a VR experience. It was madness. We actually got lost. We got separated from each other because one of my friends and I went to go get snacks here at the cupcake and bubble tea place, and then our other friend went to Top Man since he's a guy, and that was like upstairs. And then our other friend went to like the ladies, which I think was 2 floors up, and then we obviously are American and our phones weren't really working, so we got super lost, and we're like, oh, you know, this won't be a big deal, but no, it was 6 floors, so it was a big deal. There was Wi-Fi though, we ended up being fine. We walked outside John Lewis and we saw that cute little dragon from this year's John Lewis commercial, which we all thought was really cute. We all watched the commercial before we went. And then I took them to Harrods. I felt like they needed a Harrods experience. And to be honest, we only saw the first floor, the ground floor of Harrods, because it was so crazy busy. Like, we're back for time, and it was massive, and but they really loved the food halls, and I loved these. They had all these marzipan fruits, and we were just. I don't think I've ever had marzipan, so I don't know if I like it, but I just love the look of these fruits and the meringues. They were amazing looking meringues next to it. This very pretty Victoria sponge, and I actually bought a couple of mini cakes. I bought this little salted caramel cake, the one in the middle, and I also got a mini Victoria sponge. And to be honest, I wasn't really into the mini Victoria sponge. I thought it would be better than that. It wasn't really sweet. Maybe that was it. And I like sweet, but anyway, we went to the house of Mina Lima after that. If you don't know who Mina Lima is, they are the graphic designers that worked on the Harry Potter films. It's 2 people, Mina and Lima. And so we walked around. I'll just show you these photos really quickly. If you're a Harry Potter fan, you'll probably recognize some stuff. We didn't buy anything because it was a bit expensive, but it was really cool to see her work. It was like half shop, half exhibition, and so she and he had to create every piece of graphic art you see in the films, from like, I guess, the Marauders map to maybe they did the letter, I suppose, I guess, to like the posters that you see from the newspapers, and even the fireplace. We took pictures in front of it, actually. That's whose family tree is that? I think the Lestrange, maybe, I'm not sure, but you know, they made that, and they had to make every logo, every brand for things like, as you can see, flour and sugar. They had to make these to make it look like a living world. Very cool, even if you never see these things in the films. And then that evening we went to a pub because, once again, the place where we wanted to eat, crazy busy. We wanted to eat at Dishoom, and the wait was insane. I guess we needed a reservation, but we didn't make one. So we went to a pub and we had some really good pub food. I got a chicken and mushroom pie, which was also we were joined by another member, one of my friend's boyfriend. Her boyfriend lives in the Netherlands, so he flew over to spend part of the trip with us. And the next morning we walked around Camden Town because that was actually where we were staying, our Airbnb. Yeah, this is the Camden Market, which was really fun. It was very big. We didn't really like the look of anything that was being sold. Really, it felt like very touristy. I don't know. But it was fun to walk around. There was a really nice, like outdoor food market here with tons of little like street food vendors, and they all looked really good, but we didn't really get anything. I then took them, this is after we got into London, I took them to St. Dunstan's in the east, which is a little, like a hidden garden in the middle of London, which I loved. I really loved it, and it was so peaceful. You know, here, London can get kind of monotonous. Maybe all the cars, all the buildings, so getting to stop and sit for a while in this sort of tranquil garden was really nice. Here you can see, you can pause and read about the Church of St. Dunstan in the east, but I'm going to move on because I'm taking forever and we are still in London. We're only on like day 3 of London. We tried to go to Leadenhall Market, but as you can see by these photos, everything was closed. They were doing some construction on the main bit, but it looked really cool. So we ended that day with the British Museum, and of course, you know, it's pretty famous. There's not much to say that you probably don't already know. My favorite things are the ancient Greek and Roman stuff, so that's what I mostly took pictures of. And I wanted to show you this coin, this old Greek coin, which is a pretty famous design, and this served as my profile picture on YouTube when I first started my channel. Not this channel, but the channel that I made before. Maybe it was my first channel because I've had 3 and this is the 3rd one. But it was like history themed because I'm a big history fan, and I used the classic Greek owl coin image, so it was really neat to see one in person. Alexander the Great is a pretty famous bust of his, and then I really liked this dog. I felt that the sculptor did a good job of, I don't know, showing a dog. He looks big and strong and tough, but also sweet and loyal. And the next morning, our friend and her boyfriend wanted to go have a date day, of course. So the rest of us, we went to go get hot pot in Chinatown, and it was good. I felt like the taste was very good. However, the selection of your options wasn't amazing. I've been to other places that had a much bigger selection of food, and then of course it was kind of pricey because it's London, and so, but it was still overall a good experience. You can see one of my favorite things to eat ever is nyangao, and like I feel like I can never get that, so I was like, lots of nyangao. And this is just a photo of Chinatown. And then we went into a geeky store, Forbidden Planet. It was a mega store. And I took this picture of a really cute figurine that I really liked. I'm not like a figurine statuette kind of person, but if I had to buy one, this is the one I would get. Because I really like Avatar and The Legend of Korra. And of course, who doesn't love Korra and Asami together? They're so cute. And there's a little spirit behind them. Isn't it cute? This was a really nice, well done statue thing. That evening we went to Fortnum and Mason really quickly, and we got this meringue, this giant meringue. right next to Greyfriars-Kirk. And that was basically it for that night. We were tired. And we just wanted to get some food. I don't remember what we ate. But next morning we went and we did a couple of tours. We toured the Mary King's Close, and we went to Edinburgh Castle, and I've never been in the castle, so that was really fun. Here's some photos. We got to go in the room where Mary, Queen of Scots, gave birth to her son, future king, and that was really cool, but it was super tiny. This is a horrible photo, but it was a really tiny room, okay? And here I am, like, in all my winter wear, which I had been to Edinburgh before, and I knew how cold it was going to be, so I was very prepared. I wore tights and then jeans, like warm tight jeans, and then I wore a shirt, like a long sleeve shirt, and then I wore a hoodie, and then I put on a scarf, and then I put on my big parka, and then I think I had a hat and gloves. And let me tell you, I was okay. I was cold a bit, but I did okay. I tried to take some panoramas on this trip, but they all turned out really badly. And of course, the view from Edinburgh Castle is lovely. It's really nice. So here we are up there, and then we went inside this one hall. I think this was like the main hall, I'm not sure, but they had a Christmas tree and it was pretty. And then we did get to go to Dishoom the next morning. Like I said, this was about the time when I stopped taking photos on my phone, or I didn't take as many because I realized that they weren't coming out very well on my phone, and my husband's phone took way better photos because his phone's much newer. My phone's really old. I've had this one phone for almost as long as I've had this channel, so it's like 5 or 6 years old at this point. And Dishoom, we had breakfast. It was amazing. This was their version of the full English, I think, which my friend got. She's really into full English. And we had the chai and the chocolate chai, and oh my gosh, we didn't know that it was going to be unlimited refills, so we loaded up. It was so good. And then after we had breakfast, we walked over to Holyrood, so you can see we're getting close to Arthur's Seat, which is just so lovely, isn't it? So we went to Holyrood and we had a nice tour of it. You can't take pictures inside, so the last photo I took was this one in the courtyard. And then after that we explored the Abbey, the Abbey ruins, which are really cool. I love it, and especially the grounds outside. It's so green and beautiful, and there's Arthur's Seat in the background. I mean, my phone couldn't really capture how green everything was. The sun was starting to go down a little bit, which is kind of frustrating because the sun sets so early there. But we wanted to climb Arthur's Seat. So my husband and I and two of our friends ended up doing that, but I say one because one of the friends went the wrong way and ended up getting split up from us. So it was really just like 3 of us that made it to the peak. And there are a lot of photos from that, but they're not on my phone. There's like photos of me all the way at the peak. You can see it on Instagram if you go follow my Instagram. But it was amazing. It's like one of my favorite things I've ever done, I think, because I was really proud of myself for climbing all the way up there. I'm from Florida, and Florida's very flat. We don't have hills, we don't have mountains. Everywhere we walk is flat. So I am not used to walking up inclines like that, or hills or mountains at all, and my muscles aren't used to that, so it's difficult. It's a challenge, but I actually loved it. But maybe it was like the bracing cold and the wind. Although it was really windy when we got to the top, and we actually felt like we were going to get blown off of the mountain. collection in history or something, like private, I don't know. But these are the 2 oldest bottles, and you can see how much has been like evaporated, or as they call it, like lost to the angels or something. And these are some really weird looking bottles. And that was it for that evening. The next day, all of us except for one of my friends went to get on a train to go to the Highlands. We wanted to try to do a quick Highlands trip, but of course, you know, that's going to be difficult with them all being quite far away, so we settled for going to Loch Lomond, which is like, I guess, the very edge of the Highlands. We went to Balloch. Here's a nice mean swan. But this was really beautiful. There's a castle there that we saw, and gardens. This is the walled garden. Looks a bit dreary, I guess, in the winter, but you can see how green it is still. Everything's really green again. My phone doesn't even capture quite how vivid everything is. We could not really see the Highlands because it was super misty, foggy. You can see in the distance the fog covering the tips of the mountains and the Highlands. But it was still really beautiful. That in itself was lovely because we don't get much mist or fog here in Florida, so I thought it was cool. The castle was like a small one, but it's like no one lives in it. It's not occupied, and you can't go inside it, which was kind of weird. But the view from there was lovely. You can see across the Loch, and there was another garden nearby. It was like the Asian garden or something. They had a lot of trees and plants from Asia. Very cool. Here we walked down, and there's a view of the castle from a little far away. The nature was gorgeous. Everything was beautiful. It did get more misty as the day went on. As you can see here, like an hour later, it's getting really gray. But you can see in the distance there's some big ship. I forget the name of it. It had a name though. And a cute little otter thing. There was like a small shopping center right outside here, and we did walk around a little bit. Grab a small bite to eat, some coffee, some tea, and then our train back stopped in Glasgow, and then we had a little while, because we were early. We had like 45 minutes to an hour to kill in Glasgow, so we walked around the city centre. And I'd never been to Glasgow, so that was pretty nice. We didn't obviously see very much, but it felt like a Scottish London, I felt. That was our last day in Scotland. The next morning we took a train down the east coast of England to Yorkshire, and we passed some really beautiful scenery. It's hard to tell in this photo, but that strip of land in the distance, I'll zoom in, is Lindisfarne, which I was really excited about seeing. As I said, I'm a big history fan. That pokey bit on the right is the castle, like castle ruins, I guess, and next to it to the left somewhere you can't really see is the priory. Very cool. So we arrived in Yorkshire in the early afternoon, and after we got into our Airbnb and put our stuff up, we went to go have tea at Betty's, the famous cafe tea room. And it was delicious. It lived up to the reputation, of course. And this was like my friend's first time having afternoon tea, which they loved. Here's the little tea, one of the tea platters. Little sandwiches. There's a scone of jam and clotted cream, which is like my favorite part of tea. I'd live for scones and jam. And the little desserts on top, the different view. And here's the desserts. There's like a chocolate cube and a little raspberry macaron, and there's a mince pie up there. And then they were also selling these really cute desserts. And look at the marzipan, cabbage, lettuce one. What is that? Cabbage? Cauliflower, I can't tell from here. And they had Christmas lights up, so it looked really lovely, doesn't it? We went to bed, which was difficult because actually the heating stopped working, so we were freezing. It stopped working that night, and then the rest of the next day it wasn't working, basically. The next morning, after my husband left again to go see his family. So it was just the Americans again, because sadly, my friend's fiance now had to go back home to the Netherlands the day that we left for York. And this is the Shambles, of course. This pretty famous street in York, and kind of the inspiration of Diagon Alley, I think. And we went into the York Minster, like the largest cathedral in Northwest Europe, I think. It's hard to get a photo of the stained glass, but this is an amazingly impressive window. And we had a very interesting tour. It was really cool. We didn't really felt like we wanted to do a lot more in Europe, but we only had the 2 days. So that was kind of unfortunate. But the next day we took another train all the way down to London, and then from London over to Watford, because we went on the Harry Potter Warner Brothers studio tour. I've got a lot of photos from here, so I'm going to try to get through them quickly. So here's the wizarding, the making of Harry Potter, and you can see the big wizard's chest pieces out front. Very cool. Then the lobby, you can see the dragon from, what is it, from Deathly Hallows, I guess, the one that from in Gringotts. And there were also some costumes from the Fantastic Beasts series, which, even if you don't like those films, you have to admit that the costumes are really beautiful, really nice. And like the first thing you see is the cupboard under the stairs, which is very cool, very small. And then you go in the Great Hall, like one of the first things you do, and it was all decked out for Christmas. It was called like Hogwarts in winter, or Hogwarts in the snow, or something like that. And I took some pictures, of course, of the Ravenclaw side, because I'm a Ravenclaw, or I would be if I was British and also a witch. And they had the doors in the back, and the front of it was kind of done up for the Yule Balls, I guess. So that was very cool to see. Here are the house points counters, and of course Gryffindor is winning. What a shock. It's rigged. The whole thing's rigged. They had a lot of costumes, and these are the ones from the Yule Ball, which I love. And here are some of, why am I blanking on her name? You know her name. Wow, I can't believe I forgot. Luna. These are some of Luna's costumes. And wigs. And here's the staircase, or one of the staircases, with a bunch of portraits and paintings. This is the hallway from the Leaky Cauldron. Can you tell how big it is? Here, I'll zoom out. So you can see it's really small, but they used force perspective to make it look like it was shrinking at the end, and like it was quite long, but it's actually really, it's really shallow. And of course, I'm sure you know what room this is. This is the Gryffindor common room, with their costumes from the third film. And they had other costumes in there too. Like, here's, shoot, I don't remember which film these costumes are from, but there's this invisibility cloak. This is, of course, Dumbledore's office. Very cool. They have some of his memories here for the pensieve. And these are some of the crew's favorite pieces. Just zoom in, you can see Time Turner, Golden Snitch, the Deluminators there, the Remembrall. Very cool pieces of Harry Potter history. And this is the Burrow, the Weasley's home. It was really lovely and homey and fun to see. You could like make some of the set pieces move by like waving your arm. That was really cute. And then we went to see Platform 9 3/4, and we got to go aboard the Hogwarts Express to see they had laid out different carriages, compartments as they were in the movie. And then at the very back, they had the first scene where they were, anything from the trolley. Wicked, your wizard, Wicked scene. You could go outside and see Privet Drive and the night bus, and Leslie's home. Very cool. And then we also went down Diagon Alley. That was one of the last things. Here's the Weasley's shop. And Elops. I never know how to pronounce it. I forget. There's a white card model of Hogwarts, which is really cool looking. And then the last thing you see is a much bigger than this model of Hogwarts, which they used for like aerial shots of it. And they even like showed how they could make it look like students are walking through the windows, and it was just amazing, the level of detail. Like if you were to zoom in, you'd still think it was a life-size castle. Very cool. There's another view of it. And that was it. We just spent the one night in Watford so that we could go to this tour, and the next morning we got up quite early to go down to the coast to Brighton. Here you can see the pier. It was also super misty, foggy here, which I thought was really cool because our beaches never look anything like that. You can see how foggy it is on the beach. Ours are always super bright and sunny, and you can see for miles always. And the seagulls, I felt, were really big here. Much bigger than our seagulls. Maybe it's because they're getting fed like a lot more here. We really don't like seagulls or feeding them in Florida at all. We always avoid feeding them at all costs. And here, when the fog cleared up a little bit, you can see it. It was very interesting, but we thought it would be cool to go back and see Brighton in the summer when everything's a bit more alive. They lit up the sign later, and I tried to get a photo of it, but it came out terribly. These palace museum and gardens were really beautiful. We didn't go inside. We didn't have time. But we walked around. We went to a board game cafe there, and we played Ticket to Ride, which was very fun. And then I think it was the next day, because we spent 2 nights in Brighton, and we left the third morning. The second day, we got up and we walked around a little bit, and my husband left to meet a friend, and so the rest of us walked around. We saw these really cute old pubs, and we also went inside a Pusheen store. It's like the art box and Pusheen cafe. It was so cute. Very, very cute. And they have ice cream. Look at these crazy ice cream flavors. I don't know if you can see at the end, but it says, let me zoom in. Mince pie, Christmas pudding, like crazy, very crazy flavors. We didn't try them. And then after we were doing that for a while, then we met up with my husband and his friend and had some drinks with them. The plan was we were going to go up a little bit closer to London to meet up with all of my husband's old friends from school. Well, not from school, from university. The whole group of lads, we call them. And also another friend, the friend that we met up in London the first time, who he knows from a different school, university. And we all got together with them. There were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them all together. 6 lads, all drinking and being very loud. We went to a Wetherspoons, and they were so loud and so drunk that we got cut off. It was really embarrassing because I was completely sober. Of course I don't drink. And a couple of people weren't drinking, so it was an experience. We just went to a different Wetherspoons. So we stayed out really late. We ended up missing our train, and then our next train got cancelled, so we ended up having to Uber home. And we got home at like 2 a.m. or something, and then we had to fly. We had to get up like 3 hours later to get to the airport to catch our flight home, which was in the morning. So that was quite a trip. We very tiredly had some ramen in the airport, Wagamama, which was okay. It was not bad, but we've all had better ramen. And that's actually it. That's the last photo I have because, of course, we then got on the plane shortly after that. And that was only a tiny fraction of the photos that we took, and a tiny fraction of the things that we did, actually, because, like I said, I didn't end up actually taking that many photos because I switched to using the other phone, and which is a shame because these photos aren't amazing, and I probably am leaving out a lot of things that we did because it's all one big blur right now. It was so much fun. So to recap, we arrived in London. We spent like 6 days in London, and we flew to Scotland. We spent like 4 or 5 days in Scotland and Edinburgh, and then going to Loch for a day, Lomond, and then we trained down to York. Spent a couple of days in York. Trained down to Watford. Spent one night in Watford to do the Harry Potter tour. Trained down to Brighton. I did like 2 days in Brighton, and then trained back up to Gatwick Airport to leave. Overall, an amazing trip, a fantastic trip, made even better by the great company of my lovely friends who I love dearly, and I felt like we all bonded even more on this trip. And it's a shame that I can't show you all the lovely photos that we took together, all of us. But I want to respect their privacy and not like blast their faces all over my YouTube channel because I feel like that'd be rude. Even though there are photos of them on Instagram. But I hope you enjoyed hearing about the trip. Hopefully it at the very least bored you to sleep. And again, sorry that I talked so fast. I will definitely be slowing down for my next videos. Don't worry. I'm just talking about the trip made me excited because I had so much fun. So I started speaking really fast. Anyway, I love you guys lots. Thanks for putting up with me while I was gone. I missed you all, and I hope that you had a lovely Christmas in 2020, and let's have a great year. Okay,